This SEC on CBS postgame report is presented by Belfor, the leading disaster recovery partner for businesses and communities. Welcome in former Louisiana running back Emory Hunt. Hakeem Dermish here in studio as Georgia wins for the 28th time in a row, matching the longest streak in SEC history as they take down Tennessee 38-10. And Emory, this was about as dominant as we've seen Georgia all season. They allow that opening touchdown for 75 yards. After that, they only give up 202 yards. This defense is dominant. Yeah, the defense is dominant, and the team has been there before. This is a situation where you don't have a team that gets rattled or frazzled by being down quickly. They understand there's ebbs and flows in a ball game, which is why they've only been down 10 times in this 28-game win streak, which is impressive. Impressive indeed, as Georgia plays one more game next week, and then it is the SEC Championship on CBS, which we're all looking forward to as they take care of business on the road at Old Rocky Top at Neyland Stadium, 38-10. Carson Beck, 3 touchdowns. And how about Dylan Bell? 5 catches for 90 yards, a passing touchdown, a receiving touchdown. Prior to today, we had not said his name at all during the season because he had 127 yards receiving coming into the day, and he has himself a day as the Georgia Bulldogs win 38-10. Right to the site, back out to Neyland Stadium, where we welcome in the man who called this game, our friend Brad Nessler. And Brad, how about this defense for Georgia? We'll get to the offense in a minute, but after that first snap where they ran it for 75 yards and a great call by you, that was electric. They only had 202 yards of total offense rest of way. That's how dominant this defense is.
Yeah, and they're not even the defense of last year, Hakeem. You know, they're 6th best in the country as far as scoring defense, and they shut everything down. And we've seen that before. You know, they got behind when we did the game against South Carolina. They got behind at Auburn. Ricky Pierce hit the big pass play from Graham Mertz against Florida, and they had a quick touchdown. And, man, when they get bit like that on a big play and explosive, they just say, that's it, that's it. They don't want to give up any more points. They don't want to give up touchdowns, field goals, anything. And as, you know, they may not have the draft choices that they've had the past 2 or 3 years defensively, but as a unit, cohesively, they're really, really good. And like you said, when you got an offense like that, it helps the cause a little bit. Well,
and they've got guys that step up. And for us, we had not said Dylan Bell's name all season because coming in, he had 127 yards receiving. He throws a touchdown. He gets a touchdown. He has 90 yards in this game. It just tells you how explosive the offense is, but also how deep it is, Brad.
Yeah, you know, Gary and I talking about that a little bit. I've been around Georgia football for 45 years, and they've had individual stars at wide receiver positions over the years, you know, A.J. Green and some of those guys. But collectively, the group they've got, when they mix and match, and you had Brock Bowers almost as a wide receiver, they got so many different guys they can throw to. Ladd McConkey wasn't targeted today, didn't have a catch. His back stiffened up on him a little bit again. But, you know, he's been the star the last couple of weeks. He was definitely the star when Bowers was out, and then they just keep interchanging people. Dominique Lovett and Ron Thomas. And today it was Dylan Bell's turn. And as Kirby said to Jenny after the game, it's guys that know that if one week they don't contribute a lot, just be ready to contribute when you do have the chance. He was sensational today. Dylan was a great kickoff return, threw one, caught one, did a little bit of everything, playing his kind of Deebo Samuel type role today. And that's just how deep Georgia is offensively.
Brad, we talk about how good Georgia is, and rightfully so. 11-0, 28 straight wins, back-to-back national championships. But if there's a weakness that you had to target, if there's a fatal flaw for Georgia, what would you say that it is? If you can find one.
Unless they get somebody that's I really don't have one for you. You know, they lost a lineman today. I don't know how long he'll be out. They've had to shuffle a little bit up front in that regard. But, you know, they didn't have Dumas Johnson playing his normal linebacker role because he broke his arm. I think he'll be back. Kirby said to me yesterday, we don't do timelines, so I don't know what the timeline is on his return. But C.J. Allen, the freshman, with the exception of being out of place on the first play of the ball game, he had a pretty darn good game again. So I don't know if I can find one. You know, even at the beginning of the year, I didn't know if their field goal no kicker was going to be good enough because he missed a couple early. He hasn't missed since, and he's a freshman. So I look all the way around, and I don't see many dents in the armor right now. You know, they got Georgia Tech next week, and then we'll see if Alabama's got enough to take care of them in Atlanta.
Yeah, it really is tough to break them down in terms of what a weakness is. Hey, say hello to Dolly Parton for us. We appreciate you on the call here on CBS, and thanks for the time here on CBS Sports HQ.
It's the only thing I'm jealous about. Right. That's the only thing I'm jealous about all day. I wanted her to come up in the booth. She didn't make it up here. So
well,
we'll see you guys next week.
Good to see you as always, and we will see you next week for, wow, it's been an exciting season on CBS, and we look forward to the Iron Bowl, Alabama and Auburn, another edition of it. Brad Nessler here on CBS Sports HQ, gracious of him to spend a couple minutes with us as Georgia improves to 11-0. That is 28 straight wins. Again, that is tied for the longest streak in SEC history. And they play at Georgia Tech next week and take care of business there. And then on to Atlanta.